Hi, I'm your host, Jürgen Strauss from Innova.buzz, and I'm really excited to welcome today to the Innova.buzz podcast from the San Francisco Bay Area, Anya Cheng, who's the founder and CEO of Taelor AI, a pioneering men's clothing subscription service that leverages artificial intelligence to help high-impact individuals move towards their goals with confidence. Now, before building her own 0 to 1 startup, Anya led digital innovation and e-commerce for global giants like Meta, eBay, and Target. She's also an adjunct lecturer at Northwestern University, bringing the logic of data with the art of personal expression. So it's a really interesting intersection that I'm really looking forward to explore today. Welcome to the Innova.buzz podcast, Anya. It's a real privilege to have you here as my guest.
Hello, everyone. This is Anya from San Francisco, Silicon Valley. Now I'm founder and CEO of Tailor AI. We use AI to pick clothes for busy men. So if you're a busy man in the US and hate shopping and laundry, here you go. We have our AI will pick clothes for you, like your concierge or your gadget guy behind superhero. And we send people real clothes for them to rent, so you don't have to do any buying clothes anymore, laundering clothes, ironing clothes anymore. And my background coming from Meta, eBay, and Target, where I led their e-commerce team. So I'm excited to share more today.
Excellent. Well, that's a fabulous summary of what you do and a little bit about why you do it. Now, before we dive in further, a quick note for our listeners, especially if you're new to the Innova.buzz podcast. Each episode's a candid, practical conversation with a remarkable guest like Anya. Today, we're exploring the intersection of high-level tech and human confidence, which is one of those areas where I think that aspect of using technology to enhance our humanity is really the key theme, and that's something that is close to my heart. Now, hopefully we'll unpack some stories and strategies and actionable insights today that you might be able to implement right now in your business. And we conclude with our signature buzz round as always. So I'm really looking forward to the conversation today. And as always, all the show notes are going to be all the resources will have been in the show notes. So I'm stumbling over my words today, but never mind. Anya, I find the logic behind your mission fascinating, especially how you've moved from managing those big corporate systems in the companies mentioned to building a personalized AI that removes the friction of looking the part, if you like, for busy professionals. Now, can you share more about the vision you're moving towards and what impact you aim to make in the world there with Taylor? Oh, lost your sound.
Yes,
You're on
what's the
mute.
visions? For us, it's we start with the visions of helping people to achieve their goal while also helping the world to be more sustainable. Today, actually, in the menswear market is $140 billion in the US alone. But every year, 30 billion of those money go directly from factory to landfill. There are so much unsold inventory that's sitting out there and end up and get to the junk fill and creating 10% of carbon emission, 20% of polluted water. On the other hand, there are so many people like me who are just want to get ready for the day. When I was working for Meta, I was a few female leaders there with color. I was an immigrant from Taiwan. I felt imposter syndrome. I'm not sure if I'm qualified for the job and I'm worried. So I feel like at least I want to dress up. So then dress like who you want to be. You never feel that you are not part of the role yet. Like dress to be the role, right? So I start using subscription boxes like Stitch Fix, but you have to buy from every single shipment. And I start using rental company like Rent the Runway, Amore, or Newly, which make 500 million per year. But those women's rental company allow me to rent, but I have to pick 30,000, 100,000 garments, spend 3 hours, pick. It was a moment that I realized fashion company are designed for people who love fashion, not for people like me who just want to get ready for the day and be successful. So the vision is that why not we have a service to help people who want to look good but not into fashion to really be able to look good so then they can get a job, get a day, close a deal. So our vision is to help people to be more successful without worrying about who how they looks like, so then they can be confident and ready for their day. And end up there when I'm doing my research, a lot of people think like me, practical, hate shopping, hate laundry, but really are very purposeful. They are all mostly single guys, sales guy, executive, professor, pastor, who are people socially active but not into fashion. On the other hand, we also found that fashion brand need outlets because men tend to buy the same thing again and again. So they never get new male customer. So the rental becoming an outlet for them to reach new customer, for them to try something new before they decide to buy it, and become a channel for them to get rid of unsold inventory, collect data, and testing upcoming collection that's not even mass production.
Yeah, I love that. It's such a clever business model. I mean, you've come at it from several different aspects, right? So the clarity around your dream customer, who are people that want to look their best, want to look part of the role, but don't want to spend a lot of time uh, researching fashion and buying clothes, don't want to fill up their wardrobe with lots of different clothes. At the same time, they might be time poor, so helping them out with those decisions and with the acquiring the clothes that will help them fulfill those roles. Then that's actually a really startling statistic, the how much of that ends up in landfill. So there's a kind of an environmental impact to the business as well. And then the suppliers of the business, the benefits to them as well. It's quite amazing. The fashion companies, where, at first principles, you'd think, hey, they want to sell more clothes, which is true, but they're seeing this as another way to access a part of the market that perhaps they haven't had in the past. So I love how you brought all that together.
Opportunity to really connect the two words, right? So because on the one hand, that the guys, they are not very into fashion, so they don't care about what are those brands. So they care about looking good, but they don't know many brand. They open their closet, they see Lululemon, Nike, Banana Republics, and that's about it. They've been wearing the same brand again and again in the last 10 years. So in this model that we actually can bring emerging brand. It might be amazing brand in Italy, in Australia, in Canada, but no one heard of them before. But now we allow them for these men to try, because rental is like try before you buy. Just like leasing a car. A lot of people now leasing a car before they decide if they want to keep the car. So we allow them to try something new while reach out of their comfort zone. On the other hand, because our AI replacing human stylists. Of course, we do offer human stylists for our customer too, but the AI behind the human stylist helping them to pick the best outfit for the customer. Because we pick the outfit for the customer, just like Uber, you don't pick the car, right? Uber actually design, like assign a car to you, so you don't pick a car. So as long as you are Uber driver, very likely you are going to get customer no matter how. The same thing for us, because we pick the clothes for customer. So the customer tend to provide feedback. Oh, the sleeve is too long, the shoulder is too tight, the button fall off. So the feedback go back to the fashion brand. We help those fashion brand to know what's the true issue with their garment, so then they can stop producing junk. Yes, we can rent out the unsold inventory, but if the fashion brand continue producing junk, then the world is not going to be better. So we need a feedback go back to those fashion brand, and those feedback doesn't really is it before, because those busy man, lazy man, who has time to go provide the feedback. Also, for fashion brand, I outsource it to big manufacturer that outsource to a small factory. When I get the clothes, I sell it to the big wholesaler, to small to retailer. Who has time after this 5 step of supply chain? The real feedback never feedback to the fashion designer. So then they keep producing stuff that people don't want to. It could be just 1 inch too short, too long because of sleeve, but then that's why people don't want it. And we help those two worlds become together. And busy men who are not into trash store or any never ever buy secondhand, now they actually buy secondhand and support the environment.
Yeah, it's there's so much to like about the business model. I'm curious. You talked about a personal stylist, and then, but I know the model is primarily AI as the stylist first up. Um, did you start off with using AI as a stylist, or did you start off with the personal stylists and then bring AI in later on as it evolved?
Started with the stylist to help the customers out. But then quickly we discovered that the stylist can actually with a lot more efficient with AI. On the one hand, the stylist help train the AI, but also the AI also being a guardrail for stylists. Say I'm a stylist, I send something out to the customer, and say the end up that hey, are you sure this customer actually is this high-end way? And last time he actually said he doesn't want something green. Why are you still sending green? So it's both. Our stylist being the coach for the AI also being the coach for the stylist. It basically is a co-pilot, it's a partner, it's a teammate working together. It's impossible without AI to serve that much amount of a customer. Imagine that the company, for even for small company like us with 150 different brands, over 30,000 garments, there's no way for a human stylist will go one by one to see what's going on every single garment. And every customer has so much that data point as well, right? Your height and weight, your the shoulders, your length of your sleeve, and what you are wanting to do this week, going to a Japanese restaurant for day night, which is second time day, or the first day night, or for tomorrow you have a job interviews, or you go on a TED talk. It's just a lot of scenarios, and it's impossible for human stylists to remember everything. So then now AI being an assistant to helping the stylist, and vice versa for stylists to train the AI to be even smarter.
Yeah, well, that's a really novel use case for AI, and I love that. I haven't heard anything as clever as that for a long time with AI, and of course, using the human stylist, it really guides the AI, so the human element is really in control at all times. Um, let's talk a little bit about kind of this idea of taking something that, in essence, is highly visual and perhaps a little bit kinesthetic as well. So, as a customer, I would be concerned about the visual impact I'm having with the clothes I'm purchasing or renting, and also about how I feel in those clothes. So there's those two aspects, and then the other side is the whole data part, which is happening behind the scenes. So how do you see those two things playing together in a way that kind of supports the customer and your connection with the customer as well as sustaining the business?
Yeah, how does data support our business and helping our customer and helping customer experience in the business? That's a great question. So we got a lot of data to help to train our AI. For example, of course, customer feedback is one important data point. But so they feel just like you after you ride the Uber, you like dislike, or you when you get on Netflix shows, you say you heart the shows, or you say thumbs up for the show. Those feedback are definitely valuable. We customer provide some information to us as well. They share their picture to us, their occasions, are their job occupations, are they lawyers, accountants, realtors, or what kind of job it is. But we also purchased two companies of data. They were styling companies similar to those in Hollywood. They style for stylists before. So they have lots of information about how to pair outfit for a person, and also inside of outfit pair with the jacket, or the top pair with the bottom of the pants. So we get a lot of those information. We also get information from the future. How? AI only know the past, not the future. But as you also know, fashion company right now are designing something for 2028, right? So they always design something ahead of time. The fashion trend of next year has been set, right? So we also get feedback from those fashion brands because they are our suppliers, 150 of them, from Johnson and Murphy, Marine Layer, Bonobos, Rails, Cuts, BYLTs, all kinds of major brands are already, most of them are, as long as they are high quality, they are our suppliers. So we know those future information. We also know the true quality of a garment, right? After washing the garment 5 times, in the past, who is more sustainable? Any brand that advertising more money say they are more sustainable, then they are more sustainable because nobody knows the truth, right? But in this case, we actually know. As a rental company, I can tell you which brand are actually more sustainable in terms of the high quality and longevity of the garment. I can tell you this brand style can rent 5 times before people think it's old. They can rent 15 times. They can rent 25 times. So we get the true quality of garment because we are rental company. So all of these data combined together, now it fit into our AI, and then with customer feedback, we make it become AI agent and sell back to the corporate for fashion brands to predict what's going to sell again. So we help both customers experience because now we pick the better item to help them. For example, a few weeks ago, we have a customer. He's going on a conference for as a sales guy. So we sent him a very interesting dolphin style the print. He's like, why? I'm going a conference. You should send me just a black blazer. No, we say, give it a try. You will see. Then he went, he wore the shirt to the conference, and everyone stopped by and say, "Oh, nice shirt." It become a conversation opener, and everyone's talking to him. And he closed a deal, right? So it's not about looking good. It's about looking good so that the guy can get a job, get a day, close a deal. And that's a real purpose for what our customer want to achieve. And we use AI intelligently to help our customer to do so.
Yeah, that's a fantastic example because it highlights that it's not just about looking good for a conference. It's about actually thinking about and perhaps using the data to predict what that person's specific role and specific objectives are and how the clothing might contribute to that. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's also color psychology, right? Right now, we actually being impacted. No matter we like it or not, we all see movies. People like, oh, this guy like transform and suddenly become more attractive, or people believe that, oh, that's the guy who is the big boss, and it just we don't like that, but is we still being impacted for dress up like who you want to be. We have customers say, I don't care what I wear, but I'm getting divorced. I want to fight for my children. I just want something that show me credibility. I want to win the case at the court. We have customers say, I'm popping the questions tomorrow. The only answer I want to hear is the yes. So please help me to dress up like who I feel ready for the big day, while also looks great in picture because when she say yes, we are going to take a great pictures, right? So we have this case all the time. One of our customer who is very, very far, we only serve US nationwide. But guess what? The guy is actually ambassador of the government. So he actually stationed in Southeast Asia. So we send the clothes to a US address that's Air Force station. And the Air Force station actually sent his clothes all the way to Southeast Asia. We love the customer because he's always opposite weather. When everyone here is renting like big jacket for winter, he's like, oh, I want shorts because he's in summer. So we love him. He's our best guy to help us on the inventory side. He never need to find any inventory with any other customer. He can get anything you want because it's opposite weather is where we are.
Yeah, that's uh, very funny. It's so you need to expand some more into the southern hemisphere, and you have some more people that are at the opposite end of the climate spectrum.
Yeah, we are expanding into more on the corporate side. So besides the consumer, yeah, of course that's good that we do love that we have customer nationwide. We have Alaska customer, also Miami customer. Obviously, they have different weather. But now we are also expanding into corporate. We sell as a corporate gift card for employee gift and per. So big corporations, they are have a lot of sales guy like consulting firm, accounting firm, law firms, and they want to look good, right? So then they help their employee to save time. For most of the first 3 months as a new employee, you are always worried about, am I looking great? First impression matter, right? We all know that if you are successful first 3 months in a company, you will stay longer with a company. We all know that. So we now partner with some corporations, so they help their employee as a new hire gifting or the sales guy per, because a lot of sales guys expense their dry clean in the hotel to the company, which is crazy expensive. So instead of doing a dry clean, now they can ship the clothes to the hotel. They wear whole weeks in the conference. They return the clothes into a return envelope. They give the dirty clothes to the hotel lobby. Can you mail this to me because it's a prepaid label? Then they go home without doing any laundry. When they get home the next day, the new clothes has arrived. So they don't have to do laundry, and now they got new clothes to dress up for the rest of the week.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So you do all the laundry on the rental clothes, and then you mentioned earlier about um, the longevity of the clothes. What happens? What do you do with clothes then once they reach the end of their useful life for your business?
Yeah, when the garment reach the end of life of business, first of all, there are not many of them because when we send out 5 items for customer to rent, most of people already buy some of them. 1 or 2 items will get sold because most of our customer, they are busy men. After they renting the clothes, they use it like try before you buy. They tend to just buy something. So then they end up stay like keeping some clothes. So usually you won't have all the clothes coming back. And every time, so for clothes that are being sold, on average, you only have been rented for 3 times. So as you can imagine, it's quick turnaround and keep getting new clothes coming into our system. And luckily, we are also a membership program, so we know who are our customer before we source from outside. So then we don't have to have huge inventory because we already know we are serving this customer. Then this guy's high end way. This guy's running an amazing community. People please do sign up and join his community. So we know already what's his goal. So then when we source, we already know what the customer wanted. But in the end, yes, for sure, there are still some item will be reach end of life cycle. Then we sell to the repurposing company or we do donations. So then for test write off, so the clothes can be used again in some other scenario or being repurposed into the material that can be recycled. That's why we also source a lot of sustainable brand. For example, Fine FYNE, which is a brand that made by the manufacturer behind company like Nike, Lululemon, and those amazing brands. So they have this amazing brand called Fine. How they do it is the entire outfit is actually made by single material. Why so many clothes went to junk field? Because separate different material is extremely hard. And that's why even if you want to recycle them, you cannot. So then they use single material for the entire thing. So then it's super easy to recycle. So we also partner with brand like this to help on the end of life cycle for those garments.
Yeah, that's something that I'd never really thought about, but it makes perfect sense. I mean, thinking back to my basic chemistry training, if you have a fabric that's a blend of different materials, and then at the end, that has to be disposed of, and each of the materials in that blend have different disposal needs. For example, a synthetic one that's not biodegradable compared to a biodegradable one, then that becomes a really expensive proposition to separate those out. So, yeah. Lots
That's
of
right.
thought obviously gone into this.
That's
Into
right. That's right. That's
uh,
right.
mm,
It's on many sides, right? Right. We help amazing brand. It may not be well known, but they are good in doing sustainability stuff. We have garment they made by coffee grounds. Garment they made by coconuts for the bottoms. We have garments that they are made by recycled plastic bottles. We even have a garment say made by cinnamon. We promote it during Thanksgiving because such an interesting idea. You're wearing the cinnamon made dress or clothes for your Thanksgiving, right? So we also the beauty of a rental is that a customer are willing to try something new as he's renting, like your Netflix show. In the old time when I go on movies, I would say, this is made by Warner Brother. Okay, I will go. But then now when I open Netflix show, I don't even know what the show who made the show. I watch it for 3 minutes. If I like it, I will continue watching. If I don't, then I will move on. So the brand become less important, which is a good thing because for customer, most of your money is not going to the material, it's going to the marketing material, the spend, right? So nobody like that. Brand doesn't like that either. They have to pay so much marketing dollar to Facebook and Google. The only one who really make money was my old company Meta, right? So they make so much money, but consumers don't want to spend the money. Brand don't want to spend the money. So why not? Now with a rental platform, you can just try and discover a new brand, even though it may not spend a lot of money behind for marketing.
Yes, that's a really important point. That um, the whole marketing around brand identity is something that um, it's almost become a self-sustaining monster, hasn't it? And it sort of locks out new entrants, and it also increases the price beyond um, or way beyond the real cost of whatever the item is that the consumer's using.
Yeah, so we believe that this eventually is really a data business, like because we got so much feedback back to the customers. So helping brand to be a co-pilot so they know how to produce in the future can really help them to reduce future inventory, but also being a channel for emerging brand, for international brand. It might be a great brand in Italy, in Turkish, and in many different parts of the world, but maybe because they lack of resources or staff, enter a new market is not easy. They have to come to the US and set up a new country market, or even emerging brand in the US. It could be a local brand in California, but they may not have a large money to compete and get into a big channels like Macy's, Nordstrom's. So now with us, they become a possible for them to be discovered on the platform because customers are renting, and when customer renting, they are recommended, picked by the human stylists with powerful AI behind them. So together, we think we can help more brands to find new customer discover new stuff, and it may not even available in the US, right? You were like, oh, then I sure. Where can I buy it? No, you cannot get it. I got it exclusively from, otherwise you go to Italy for it, right? So I think it's also helping customer. Or sometimes we have fashion brand actually brand out stuff that's not even live. They just want to test it. They haven't mass production it. They just want to test it. So our customer got these amazing clothes and they say, oh, I like it. Where can I buy more? No, it's actually a test product. It's actually going live next year. And but of course, we cannot always tell the customer, but many times it actually is the case. You are wearing the test sample that's popular next year.
Yeah, ahead of your time. I love
That's
it.
right. That's right. Ahead of time. And then for
Yeah.
our fashion brand too, now you get the feedback. So then you can better predict what's going to sell.
Mm. Okay. So let's look past the clothes and the technology for the moment. What do you see as the ultimate human transformation you're actually enabling or aiming to make with Taylor?
Yeah, I think so. I think there are two different angles on the transformations. One, of course, for the customer is about helping them psychologically feel ready for their day. A lot of our customers, they are doing great. But we all have those imposter syndrome, no matter how old, how young, how much you looks great for people. We all have those moments. So we really using helping them look good to help them feel ready. But also operationally, we now have the using AI with humans and then become something that is in a loop as a flywheel. So for example, we recently won American Marketing Association award because we do very well on showing up on ChatGPT. How? it starts with that we have humans who identify what people have questions on ChatGPT. And from there, we're using AI to generate the content to answer those questions. Then our human stylists will provide the feedback on these garments, how to pair these things and that, and also how these clothes will be perfect for what occasion. So then those information can answer consumers' question on ChatGPT. Then we rent out the clothes and customer provide feedback, and the feedback go back automatically again back to the system, and we generate the content on our website. So today you might see a blazer on the website. The blazer will say this will be perfect to wear to this occasion, and for to pair these with these pants and the jeans. And then when you wear, make sure you do you roll the sleeve up so then people feel like it looks very young and trendy. All of those information actually generated by AI, but behind it is an AI human, AI human, AI human, quick iteration as a flywheel. And that's why we are able to kind of transform how human work. So I hope this answer your questions. I think for us, it's more about customer experience and also for how we operating with both human and AI doing being transformed how we work.
Yeah, yeah, I love the flywheel metaphor. That's a favorite one that I use, but I haven't used it in relation to enhancing the AI model to actually really fine tune it, and that's a really wonderful example. One of the things I'm curious about, I mean, I have some clothes like this, and I'm sure that it's very common for a lot of people. So we choose a piece of clothing to wear on a particular day, not because of its looks, but because of some sort of emotional connection. So it's totally irrational. So I remember a shirt that I wore at a time when I did a presentation that actually went so well that it was beyond my wildest dreams and imagination, but I just nailed it and everything went well. And when I pull out that shirt, I'm reminded of that event. And if I've got an important event, I think, okay, I'll wear that shirt. Not because of the visual appearance of it, simply because
Your
of
lucky
what it.
shirts. That's time when you
Yeah,
wear
what
the shirts, you
exactly?
won the award,
Yeah,
you got the lottery. This time you wear it again, right?
yeah. So how do you factor that, or can you factor that into the models that
Yeah,
Taylor
we can because
uses?
the customer do provide some point of view, right? So of course, we as a stylist, we have human stylists and powerful AI, so we know what looks good on you. But it's not about looking good; it's about that you look good or feel good. So then you close the deal, get the job, get a day, and how you feel is something in addition to how you look. Right, so you provide based on customer feedback. Some customers say, I my favorite color is green, or even that we are like some one of our investors actually in the psychology space. He has been encouraging. We haven't done so, but he has been encouraging us say that I think you should factor into the lucky color for the persons for the months. So then you're like, hey, the lucky color for the month is this. So I encourage you to try this more. And even though you will know that it probably doesn't make any sense, but at least you feel good about it. Hey, I got my Aki color today. So you feel like, and we all know psychologically how much you are feeling can change what's really happening, right? We always people say, believe it will happen. Whatever you believe is going to happen. Nobody can explain why, but we kind of all have this, right? We heard people who wear like red underwear because that today is the red is the color for winning. So where people we all know like why Valentine's Day everybody wear reds, right? So I think people can provide this information to us as a preference. Right now, of course, they can fill out simple quiz. They can open the app, but as simple as they can just text our stylist, say, "Hey, I am have important thing. I really like this style," or "Hey, this is my lucky blazer. If you have something like this, that I would love to try it." And definitely, we can help to accommodate those situations.
Yeah, it's very powerful, um, and certainly I think the idea of AI collecting all that data and then having that available almost at sort of fingertips, right, for the human stylists is very powerful.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a combination of the humans and AI and technology, combination of online and offline, right? So a lot of people when it comes to AI, they were like, oh, we're going to all replaced by AI. But we believe in the business, like just like food. Yeah, the AI generate amazing menu. But if I cannot eat the food, who cares? Like, I'm still
Yeah.
hungry, right? So the same thing for the clothes. We believe, yes, some people like, oh, we should just do the virtual things, and but unless you never meet people in persons, right? So you still, a lot of our customers still do. They are realtor. They show the houses for their customers. Professors, not every professor teach on Zoom, right? We the day nights, like yes, you can go on the Zoom day. I heard people going on Zoom days nowadays, but still, a lot of people like the physical day night in the dinner places and romantic nights, right? And so unless you don't meet people, otherwise we still think the physical stuff, like we send people clothes, is still important, and that's how we're being defensive in the world of AI. Yes, you can probably ask ChatGPT, what would you look like tomorrow, which clothes would you pick, but if you don't get to wear those things, it's not very helpful for most of people.
Mm. Yeah, it's a fascinating business model and fascinating conversation around all the different aspects that come together. And I think it's one of the really imaginative applications of AI into something that's a real need from almost 360-degree level, from every angle, from the supplier, the customer, the business, the environment. Yeah, it's fascinating. So I'm just aware of the time though, Anya, and I think it's a good point now to move on to the buzz round. And it's the same three questions I ask of every guest. It is very AI focused, and it's very focused on AI and the how as humans we still get to keep our humanity and our human connection alive. So I think you'll be well placed to answer those given your experience.
Sounds great. Go for it.
All right. Okay. So the first one's around innovation, and I'd probably say today I'd say Taylor AI, but the question is, what's the most innovative way you've seen AI used to strengthen human relationships?
Human relationship. Uh, mm, that's a good one. I see that I recently see someone was using that for supporting tool for psychologists, so therapist. So a lot of people still want the human therapist. They don't want just directly talking to AI. Although yes, there are some people doing AI therapists together, just only using human as AI as a therapist for them. But I recently heard a founder, they are working on a tool for supporting therapists, because it's hard for people to have 24/7 with a therapist on site, right? But the same time, it's probably not the best way that you only work with AI, because you still can go wrong or whatever situations. It could be medically dangerous. So then they use a tool kind of supporting functions. So then your therapist wasn't around you, that your AI can still there and being your best friend to support you. While you still support the human therapist and do so. So I think that the supporting function, just like our stylist, right, is supporting function. It's not replacing the stylist, but otherwise you can have to be big star and celebrity in order to use the service.
Yeah, I think that raises a really important point. Um, in the medical space, it's a fantastic example uh, because I mean we all know, and hopefully everybody knows this that's listening, that AI can hallucinate, and I've had some really serious hallucination issues recently. None of them have been critical situations. I've been just asking for information. For example, I asked one of the AIs to summarize a long video for me. It was a 1.5 hour video, and I thought I don't have the time to watch this, but I want to get the key points from this video. And the AI came back and it referenced a completely different video than the link I'd given it. And I said, this makes no sense at all. And even though I hadn't watched the video, I knew it's got nothing to do, can't have anything to do with that. And then I asked again with a different prompt, and again it came back with a a third video, but not the one I'd asked about. And I said, "What's going on? Why are you hallucinating here?" And then ultimately, I found a prompt where I could tell it, don't source anything else except this particular one link and give me that summary. And I thought, well, in a critical situation, like for example, a health care or even a mental health, um, having a hallucination like that gives you completely incorrect information is very dangerous. So I like the supporting the professional who has the expertise, and they're kind of the gatekeeper, if you like, of the information. And at the same time, it's also enabling a bigger background information to be accessed and perhaps a bigger timeline as well. All right. Well, question 2 of the buzz. What's the best thing you've done to integrate AI in a way that enhances human connection? You're still on mute, Anya.
Yeah, I cannot answer Taylor, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. Uh increase human connections. I'm not sure, but I have a one answer for the best things that my friends have done. I think it's really helping on the human work, which is they use AI to capture lobsters. So in the old time, like you when you have yeah, when you have lobsters, you don't want it when it's too small, because when you capture, you might impact the environment, right? Because they haven't grown up yet. You also don't want it to be too big, because you might miss the best time to capture it, and it may not taste good or whatever thing. So then they decide to use AI to do capturing for lobster. And at the same time, there's another founder doing exactly the same thing, but capturing doing the strawberry. So then you have to be like, right, before it's too old and before it's too green. So then they use AI to pick strawberry. I think those are amazing use case to help human to do their job a little bit easier versus spending time and figuring out the doing the labor works, and it really helping them increase productivity. I know it's not directly answer your question, but I also inspire people to think about how it can apply to your business.
Yeah. Yeah. I love those examples for many reasons, but one of the things I hadn't thought about is the I mean, there's an environmental impact to that, right? If you say, okay, we catch lobster, and we probably have to throw some of them away because they're too old and they don't taste good anymore. And I'm not sure what happens to them. The ones that are too small probably get thrown back, so they get to live on for a while. With the strawberries, it's a different kind of dynamic, but there is an environmental aspect to that, and when you consider that the energy requirements for running all these AIs is actually putting a pretty big strain on our environment simply because of the requirements to produce energy. It's good to think of that aspect as well. So yeah, love the examples. All right, now finally in the buzz round, what's the number one thing you think we need to be developing in terms of a skill as humans moving forward in this age of AI, particularly to keep this human connection alive?
What's a good use to make human connections alive? I think it's just it's extremely important to think about why you do what you do. What problem are you solving? I think it applied to through my career working for Meta, eBay, and Targets, and I constantly people tell me like, what's the most number one skill set you think is the most important, and also most important in the era of AI. I think it's really the strategic thinking, right? What problem are you solving? So I'll give you example, like for when I was working for eBay, we actually done this snap a picture AI write everything for you, so then you can post and sell stuff. I don't know if it's working now, but at that time when we launched it, it wasn't working. It's the feature is working, but nobody used it. what we have discovered is where people actually care about making money. So then they want to make sure whatever the rifle description for selling something is perfectly great. So then they make a lot of money. So they don't bother actually using the feature. When I was at Target, our colleagues actually launched an in-store GPS feature for mom to go into a store. So you can write down what you want to buy. And then once you go in store, become an in-store GPS, turn right, turn left. So then you can buy everything. You will never forget about one thing in the store. But again, those moms actually didn't use a feature. And why? Because moms are going to Target store to get lost. They like to be running around in the store. They don't want to go store and turn right, turn left. You take away all the fun. They like to browsing stuff and buy stuff they don't need it, right? So that's a fun thing to go to a store, not a store GPS, right? So I think it's important thinking about what problem are you trying to solve. And now with AI, it can do a lot of things for you, but fundamentally, if you don't know why you want to solve these problems, and then however you use technology is not going to work. So keep in mind the problem you are solving. Are you generating additional value prop for your customers? Are you helping them to reduce the pain points? Or you are just simply for the fun of doing something for the sake of chasing those shiny new objects? So I think that's still critically important. And I think they apply for improving the human connections. Like, what's the problem you are solving? Maybe AI can help you, and maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of really good examples because I'm sure they improved the efficiency of what people were doing in those two examples, but that wasn't what those people were looking for, right? Particularly the mothers in Target, they were looking for a bit of a distraction and a bit of a um, casual time where they weren't under stress, where they weren't having to be efficient, where they could just get lost in the store and
Yeah.
enjoy the
Just like
surroundings. Yeah.
yeah, just like when we start our business, we thought our customer really care about looking good. Turn out how we realize it, they care about looking good so that they get job get a day close a deal. Right? The example for the dolphin. The guy may not like the dolphin print, but who cares? Now he get the deals in the conference. He's happy. Right? That's a real goal behind. So what's the real job to be done? Just like when we open a weather app, we actually don't want to know how many degree. We want to know if we should bring the extra jackets. That's a real
Yeah, yeah.
job you try to get done. So think about that when you were trying to figure out a solution to help on improving your human connections.
Yes, very good point, and I love the comparison to the weather app. Yeah. All
Right.
right. Well, thanks, Anya. This has been absolutely fantastic. Now, where can people find out more about Taylor and more about you, and maybe even reach out and say thanks for what you shared with us today?
Yeah, so if you don't want to do shopping or laundry but want to look presentable and discover new brands, or gifting season could be coming for whoever your significant other's birthday, Father's Days, and so just go on Taylor.style. That's Taelor.style. Taylor.style. Use a code podcast25 to get 25% off first months of subscription, or use a code podcast gift to get 10% off discount. If you are an investor, supplier, amazing talents, merchant, marketer, sales, BD, or the operation expert, machine learning engineer, we are growing fast and we are hiring. So reach out to me. I'm Anya, which is Anya at Taylor, Taelor .ai, Taylor.ai.
Excellent. All right. And we'll have all those links in the show notes so people can click straight through. Wonderful. So, as we wrap up the conversation today, Anya, what specific action would you like our listener to take away from our conversation?
Yeah, so I think so for you guys, helping getting into better human connections could be really helpful. I think community is really helpful. I got these a lot of idea from the communities that I participate. I'm part of a lot of founder community and marketer community, but also in like Taiwanese American Chamber of Commerce and those communities. So I encourage you to go out and talk to more people. You will find out discover new amazing idea. I remember when I was earlier in my career, I tend to care about what. this is useful. AI is popular. We should learn about these things. But then I am teaching at Northwestern University, and I learned something from my students. I discovered that my best students tend to be those who love about why. They were just curious about anything. They were not picking the class because they only think the class will get them high score. They are also picking a class because just they're curious about it. So I encourage you to participate in community and talk to more people. You might find out stuff that will really inspire you and go into amazing direction for your business.
Excellent, wonderful call to action, and I think curiosity is one of the superpowers we really need to be cultivating in this day and age. And I think it's something where AI can actually be a real good tool for us. So, yeah, thanks for that reminder. And thanks so much for sharing your time and your insights so generously with us today, Anya. I've really enjoyed our conversation. There's been a lot of really insightful ideas, and love the business model of Taylor, and all the best for the future. I look forward to see it grow some more and expand internationally. And all the best, and please do stay in touch.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. This is Anya from Taelor.style.